Hey, what's up YouTube, Skybadger here, and we're back in day 29 of our 100 player fan game series. So things are progressing nicely. As we can see, we're in first place and we're going to continue rising on the leaderboards. Wealthiest nations have made the top 6, which is pretty good. I could probably do a little bit more with that money, but I suspect I'm going to have to use a lot of it for spying later on. We also have a lot of stuff in the build queue, so I don't want to go out and spend money I can't replace. However, we are waiting on the market, and hopefully some metal trades come up so we can buy some more metal and oil. If we get those trades, we can, I'll take anything at this point, even if it's, I don't care what the rate, I'm going to buy any metal I can get. So, we desperately need metal to keep up with our build queue, and we can afford to do that if it comes up. So, I mean, I'm just waiting for that at the moment and checking the market frequently, so we can use that 5% of the world's wealth to our advantage right there. So if we close the newspaper and we get back to what's actually happening, we'll start. Where should we start today? We'll do the normal. Let's start with what we're building. If we have a look at what we're building at the moment, we're building a few air bases, and these are just basic to extend our network. We're also investing heavily in iron production, as we can see right there. There's a lot of infrastructure going up. Now there is a good reason for this. We need iron and metal. Simple, done, move on. Because we're building all of these fortifications down here. If we have a look at this big long list, we can see that there is a lot under construction and there's even more to come. In fact, I have 186 fortifications lined up to be constructed. And what are we training? Well, this is the best part. Nothing. Nothing. So, I don't know where that came from. Regardless, as far as I was aware, I was constructing nothing. So, I haven't actually trained any troops for I think about the past 4 or 5 days, maybe even 6 days now. If we have a look at how many troops we have, we can see that we have dropped back below 200, and that's because we lost a few infantry units here and there. But it's incredibly important that we don't go back to producing troops and that we focus on our economy for the time being. As I stressed in the last episode, we're pushing further north, and this is all land we can't hold. If we have a look at this very high morale province up here that appears to have rebelled to me today, we can see that with all those negative multipliers on it, we're looking at roughly a minus 10, 35, 39, I hate maths, 78 roughly, minus 78. And obviously if it gets down to minus 78, that's going to put it at a 22, and at 22 the province can have a chance of rebelling. So we are investing heavily in fortifications in the northern territories, and there's actually other things I'm thinking about doing to get on top of this. So I'm really trying to rebuild this player up here, East Yakutat. By rebuilding this player up here, what it will allow me to do is it will allow me to basically let him take all the land up here, and then I don't have to worry about it. That seems like the way to go. By letting him control all this territory and letting him do his thing, I don't have to worry about trying to struggle to control territories in the northern regions, and he can focus on it by having a capital up here, and then all I'll hopefully have to focus on is up to about here. But in the meantime, we still want to try and invest in provinces like these down here. As we can see, I've got fortifications lined up. They'll begin soon, because if we have a look at the multipliers on this, we're still looking at a very hefty multiplier. In fact, that is a minus 70 right there, and although we will eliminate the number of players we are at war with, and that will go down, even then, we're minus 50. That's not a high level of morale right there, and that is a low level of morale that will sustain a low level of production. So we need to work on that, and we need to concentrate on that. I have plenty of goods, and I have plenty of oil, but I don't have the metal. I also have plenty of rare, and we're currently working on a solution to get rid of all this rare. And that leads us into our research. So if we have a look, we're researching battleships at the moment, and once that is done, we're going to move on and we're going to research the next level cruiser before going convoys, cruisers, subs, destroyers. And then from there, we're just going to keep, working on that and keeping our Air Force up to date as well. As we can see, our Air Force is currently all up to date, all max research, which is good to see. You'll also notice I have nuclear power level 2 under development and under research, and that'll be done within 18 hours. From there, obviously, nuclear power level 3, and I want to work my way up so I have a nuclear option. I also do need to research rockets, so I might go back and get that first before I do level 3, but having a nuclear option is going to be pretty good, especially as we head into the late game. We're currently in what I'd consider mid-game, and the mid-game is coming to an end. So if we come over into Europe, we can see that although Spain is still pushing forwards and is still making ground, he's starting to, lose momentum and starting to lose progress. The North Americans have landed in the west of Africa, and they are pushing through these AI territories fairly quickly, and within no time, they'll be right on Spain's borders, and then he'll have another issue to deal with. So yeah, that's what we're just doing at the moment. I've deployed some aircraft up here in this region. They're just going to start out by scouting, and then from there I'm going to have them just attack these ground targets and weaken them up so South Africa can push back forwards. Now, these planes here have come from the carrier group I assembled the other day. Oh, let's get that back on the move. I want to get this up here relatively quickly. Yeah, 12 hours, that's okay. And then get it out into the med. So yeah, those planes have come from that carrier group, and I was hesitant to split them because the South African airbase network is pretty poor. I'm going to struggle to get them back onto the carrier. In fact, it's going to take them a whole day to fly back around the coast up to these bases up here where they can head around. He needs to put at least 3 bases in here so it can split and you can fly from one side to the other instead of having to fly all the way down to here, really, and then back up. So that's what's happening at the moment. Up here, we're really trying to kill this tank before it kills and captures the last of Libya's core provinces. With our ships, we should be able to bomb out any targets that move around this area and help Libya hold on to the last of its core, but we just, need to make sure that we stop this, because that's a bit of an issue, and if I don't get there quick, it will be able to outrun my ships and my carriers, and I won't be able to catch it. So I'm going to deploy these interceptors. The naval bombers and the interceptors, I had them working on this earlier on, but I set my ships up to move west so they could attack this group here that's on the ground, and I forgot entirely about the fact I was targeting the light tank at the same time, so the aircraft moved out of range and they were unable to attack. So I've split the aircraft off. They're going to move to the edge of the patrol range, and I am going to leave them to patrol there for a bit, but they won't damage the tank much for patrol. So I'm just going to wait for the very second that this boundary passes over that red dot right there, and then once that happens, I can attack them and hopefully kill them in one blow. If not, I need to get the naval bombers onto it, and the naval bombers are a little better against tanks, but hopefully the interceptors can pack enough of a punch. At 0.5 each times 3, that's 1.5. The light tank has only 1 hit point, so I should be able to kill it. Should be the key part there. You know what this game's like. Here's RNG. It's not necessarily going to happen. So I feel like there's not really much more to say. Quebec is pushing down in England and is slowly pushing out the inactive Italy. So that won't take too long, and they'll soon have a good foothold in Europe. So there's really, not much more to say, to be honest. In fact, probably just leave it here. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.